I'm sure the question you all have on your minds is a simple one. What is the limbo? But before we get to questions such as this, I must set the stage as to what this is that you're listening to. Truth be told, I'm not entirely sure what this is going to be used for. Perhaps just an archive of the limbo, perhaps some kind of training. Hell, maybe these simply get deleted after I send them to the higher ups. Anyway, this recording is official property of the L.R.P.U, the Limbo Response and Prevention Unit, a governmental organization which focuses on archival, response, and, prevention of the events that occurred a few months prior. Honestly, listener, it's kind of shocking that something this organized was made so quickly. I suppose that just goes to show how big of an impact such as this has had on those in charge. For those of you listening who don't know what the limbo is, or was, hopefully, that is the role of this specific recording, archival. At least I assume it is. But regardless, sit down. This is going to take some explanation. What is the limbo? What was the limbo? How can I recover from the limbo? These are all questions that have been weighing on everyone's mind since the event. I mean, how could they not? Yes, the limbo has had its skeptics, but they are a very quiet minority, and personally, I just think they're in denial. They assume the event that captured the population was some kind of shared hallucination. Well, at the very least, in that community, physical health statistics seem to be at an all-time high. I can't quite imagine why, but that's beside the point. The point is as simple as 4 words. What is the limbo? My apologies, I got a bit off topic there, didn't I? The limbo was what we have come to refer to as a global supernatural event. It's just that. It was global. And we still have no idea how it happened or what it was, and to be truthful, it shook me to my core. I still haven't explained what it was, have I? The Limbo was a global event in which every single person was transported to their own personal desert, their own personal hell. They were trapped there, wandering for 28 hours. At least 28 hours had passed here. In my limbo, at least, it felt like an eternity. I was just wandering down the street when, without warning, I appeared in a vast desert. I remember specifically having to close my eyes at the light of the sun reflecting off all that sand. When I actually got around to opening them, that was all I saw. Sand in every single direction. No water, no civilization, no anything. Just sand, just heat, and I had to walk. What else could I do? I walked and I walked until my feet were more than numb and throat burnt in the heat of that sun. An endless expanse was the only way I can describe it. And that was all I did. Walk in the blistering heat. The sun never moved. It was always high in the sky. And if I was there for 28 hours, as they claimed, there was no night, no life or movement, just walking in that endless desert in the middle of nowhere. Throughout my entire experience, I never saw anything else but sand. Eventually, I assume I passed out from exhaustion, since I just appeared back in the street that I disappeared from. The first thing I did was trudge to the nearest store and buy all the water I could. Since that day, I haven't been able to look at sand, much less stand out in the sun. Well, that was my experience, and looking at other reports, everyone seemed to have fairly similar experiences, and yet nearly every limbo was unique. I've looked through nearly every single report that I've received, and there has not been one that has included anyone else or anything safe else even. Even environments seem to differ. A sandy desert-like one that I appeared in is common enough, although there have been reports of snowy expanses, lifeless woods, the middle of an ocean, At least one report just ended up in an empty apartment complex that, and I quote, had nothing in every room except for a single carton of long expired milk in the center. Odd. The point of telling you this is to show that everyone who came back was in somewhere that was, to put it simply, unlivable. But that is the biggest problem. Not everyone came back. We don't know the exact amount of people who didn't return from the limbo, but it was enough. It's been 4 months since I I don't think they survived. Perhaps they didn't survive the initial 28 hours, or maybe, just maybe, they're still there, trapped in their own personal hells. So what is the limbo? I pray we never have to find out. That was unprofessional. Look, the purpose of these recordings is to archive what happened in the limbo in the event it happens again. That way, if it does, we can hopefully prevent more people not coming back. Ultimately, that is the goal of the L.R.P.U. as I understand it. To archive and to prevent, so that hopefully this never happens again. Signing off.